All right, here is a walkthrough for what I'm seeing as well as other setups so that hopefully I can clarify all of the items that I see happen when this motion sensor triggers. So I did enable an event called test events closet 1 motion sensor trigger, which simply says when the closet motion sensor trigger is set to a value of 100, it just waits a second, only just to have it logged to the database so that I can see that something's there without it speaking all the time. This, when there's no BLRadar involved, only triggers when the motion sensor detects motion, and then it sends a set value for 100 to that motion sensor device. I just want to show you how this event seems to execute all the time when BLRadar is involved. Again, I think it should only trigger once, but I don't know if that's relevant to anything else that's going on. The other thing to notice is the clock on the device, the motion sensor 677, is constantly being updated. Like right now it's set to 1:11:46 seconds. If you just stay watching it for just a moment, it will change from 1:11:46 seconds without anything happening. No, now it's 1:11:58 seconds. So this is device number 677. The active zone that it's associated with is device number 828. It is in BLRadar. I go to sensors. There it is, motion sensor closet 1. It is reference 677. Here's the address, type motion sensor, recovery time 1 minute, dead battery time is 750, last battery change today. Just to go to it's value based triggered. It triggers on 100 and it's off at 0, but I do not have off processing turned on. It is not turned on for off processing. And then just everything else is the basic, and then it's an active zone, closet occupancy zone. So that's all of that stuff. If we look at the device value, it will be 100. It's always 100. So the value never changes. The only thing that changes is when the Insteon sets it to 100 when there's motion, or something now sets it when or changing it when BLRadar has it as a motion sensor. So last change time updates only on status changes is checked. Maybe that's why the clock is always updating. I'm not sure. Status of it. Oh wait, this time it has a value of 0. I haven't seen that before. I restarted the plugin. Maybe that set the value to 0. I don't know. So anyhow, now it has a value of 0. We'll see what happens in just a moment. So now I'm going to turn on the BLRadar debug logging. Let me make sure that see what we have in the logs. The logs are empty for HomeSeer. Now we're going to go to BLRadar options, debug logging turned on. And now I am going to go trigger the motion sensor. Get back. The motion sensor was triggered. And now let's look at the logs. And here we go. Look at the event, the test event trigger. Look how it's triggering multiple times in a second. It's just filling up the log. So I'm going to go disable that event, test events, and disabling. But that shouldn't happen where it just fills up the log like that. Let's go back to logs. And here it is. The logging is enabled. Test event 1, trigger, echo for motion sensor 1, active zone, filled in, event trigger, closet occupied, and then which is good. That means the event triggered, and then device closet load control. It turned on the load. But this is what concerns me. All of the events that are tied to the setting of the device are just constantly getting triggered once it goes off in BLRadar. I will now turn off the debug logging. BLRadar, options, debug logging, save. And this now stays triggered. It's now been over a minute, by the way, and as you can see, it did not honor the sensor recovery time. So it just stays triggered. The only way I can probably make it stop being triggered is by stopping the plugin and re-enabling it. Then I think it honors it. Let me show you what I mean. If I go plugins, manage, if I then turn the plugin off, devices, by the way, now he stays as triggered, but you will notice that the update time stops. He doesn't constantly have an update time anymore. It seems to be BLRadar that's making that time constantly update. Also, I'm willing to bet that if I go to events, test events, and re-enable the closet motion sensor trigger, then go to the logs, you'll see that even after I shut down, it does not keep triggering the closet sensor 1 motion sensor trigger. It stops that. So now if I go to the manage plugins and re-enable BLRadar, go to devices, I suspect in a moment, yep, he'll recover. He does the sensor recovery time once the plugin starts back up again. And if I go to the logs and look at that, sure enough, as the plugin comes back up, he sees that the device then goes to the no echo state, and he recovers the zone and everything else. But once he triggers while the plugin is running, he stays triggered, and he also then triggers this event that's tied to the setting value. If I were to go walk in front of it again, the same thing would happen, where he would trigger, stay on, and then go nuts with the events. I will send this video as well as the log that I captured. Let me know if there's anything else.